Let's move on to exercises part. You can open your textbook and turn to page number 73. First, we have the life skills. Discuss why we must use water carefully, repair leaking taps at once. Why should we use water carefully? Water is very precious. We need water for many purposes, right? And where do we get this water from? We either get from rivers, wells, ponds, or lakes. So it is very important that we use water carefully, or else what happens? Water becomes scarce. And the next thing, repair leaking taps at once. What happens when the taps leak? The water keeps on flowing, and by doing so, we are wasting the water. So is it good? No, we should not waste water. We have to save water. So when you see leaking taps, it's important that we repair the leaking taps. Next, let's move on to our keywords. In the keywords, some words are given. Let's see what it is. The first is dam. So what is a dam? A wall built across a river to store water. Next is a well. What is a well? It's a deep hole that is dug in the ground to draw water. So what is a well? It's a deep hole that is dug in the ground, and from there we draw water. Next is the lake. A vast area filled with water. So what is a lake? Lake is a vast area that is filled with water. Next we have the pond. What is a pond? A small area filled with rainwater. So lake is a vast area filled with water, and pond is a small area filled with rainwater. Next, let's move on to remember. So here you can see river, dam, lake, well. So how water reaches our taps? Water reaches either from river or from dams, from lakes and from wells. And once it reaches our taps, we have different uses for water. What are they? We can use water for drinking, cooking, washing clothes, washing utensils, for bathing, for growing plants, and to build homes. So these are the different uses of water. Now let's move on to exercises, page number 74. In this you can see, fill the circle using a pencil if the statement is true. So you have to fill the circle using a pencil if the statement is true. So let's look at the sentences. The first sentence, only animals that live in rivers need water. So is that sentence true? Second, plants need water to grow. Third one, we must drink clean water. And the fourth, rivers flow into seas. So just go through the questions, and if you feel the statement is correct, you can fill the circles. Pause the video and do this exercise, and once you have done, you can come back. Hope you have done it. Now let's check the answers. Look at the first sentence. Only animals that live in rivers need water. So is that sentence correct? No. Animals need water. Not only animals that live in river, all animals need water. So that sentence is not correct. Now let's look at the second question. Plants need water to grow. Yes, plants need water to grow. So that statement is correct. So you can fill that circle. Let's look at the third question. We must drink clean water. Yes, we have to drink clean water. So that statement is correct. So you can fill that circle also. Fourth question, rivers flow into seas. Yes, rivers flow into seas, and that statement is also correct. So you can fill that circle. Let's move on to a second question. With the help of the drawings, complete the following passage. So you can see a passage is given and some drawings are given. So with the help of these drawings, we have to fill this passage. Let's look at that. We get dash. Here you can see a picture, and the picture of water is given. So what we have to write here? We get water in the dash. So here the picture of a tap is given. So here you can write tap. We get water in the tap from a river, and look here the picture of a well is given. So you can write here well or a dam. We use again the picture of water. So again you can write here water. We use water to, what is this? Drinking, right? So we use water to drink, bathe, cook, and grow plants. We need clean water to drink. We must store water in a clean vessel and keep it covered. Here you can fill the words that are missing here. Let's move on to our next exercise. Here you can see rearrange the given letters to form words related to water. So here some words are given. They are jumbled up. We have to find out the correct word, and these words are related to water. So let's see. The first one is rain. So here in the space provided, you can write rain, R-A-I-N. Look at the second one, it is river. So write there R-I-V-E-R. Third one, it is well. So you have to write there W-E-L-L. Fourth one, it is lakes, L-A-K-E-S. Fifth one, it is sea, S-E-A. And the sixth one, it is dam, D-A-M. So hope you have completed. Let's move on to our next exercise. Answer the following questions. The first question, from where do we get water in our homes? So how do you get water in your homes? You can write it over there in the space provided. And look at the second question. List any 4 uses of water. So we have learned different uses of water. From that you can write any 4 uses of water. Moving on to our next page. Page number 75. We have there high order thinking skills. So here a diagram is given. So look at that picture carefully. The question is study the diagram and answer the questions orally. So here in this picture what you can see? You can see land, rivers, hills, clouds and rain. So what do you understand from this picture? We learnt evaporation, right? So when the water rises up, forms clouds and it falls down as rain, and this process is called precipitation. And once it falls down, what happens? The water is again collected in rivers, right? So this we learnt in the water cycle. So here you can see when it rains, the clouds bring rain, and when it rains, what happens? From the hills, the water flows into the rivers, and also the snow in the hills. The snow melts and also it flows down as rivers from the hills. So that is what this picture is showing. Now let's look at the questions and we have to answer that orally. Look at the first question. What do you learn from this diagram? So what do you learn? Rain is a major source of water, and when it rains, the water flows into rivers and is collected here. The second question is, how is a river formed? So how is a river formed? When it rains, the water flows from the hills and also the snow melts from the hills and flows down as rivers. Third question, where do most rivers flow? So we have learned it in this chapter. Where do rivers flow? Most rivers flow into seas. So this is all about this diagram. So next we have the value-based question. So let's look at that. Water is important for life. We should not waste it. Tick the true statements. So some statements are given and we have to tick the correct statements. Let's look at the questions. The first question, plastic can be thrown into lakes and rivers. Second, we should use toys that need water to work. Third, leaking taps should be repaired at once. And the fourth, rainwater can be collected and used. So look at the sentences. Which statement is true? We have to tick those statements. The first sentence, plastic can be thrown into lakes and rivers. So should we throw plastics? No, that statement is not correct. And in the second, we should use toys that need water to work. So should we use toys that need water to work? No, we have different uses for water. So we should not use toys that need water to work. And look at the third sentence. Leaking taps should be repaired at once. Yes, we have to repair the leaking taps or else we are wasting the water. So that sentence is true and you can tick there. And look at the fourth question. Rainwater can be collected and used. Yes, that sentence is correct and you can tick it over there. Next, let's move to the activity zone. So here you can see, study the pictures, color The circles red for pictures that show water is being wasted. So here you can see some pictures are given, and what you have to do, you have to color the circles red. You can see some circles are given here. These circles you can color in red whichever picture shows that water is being wasted. So look at the picture and do this activity accordingly. Next, we have the project zone, a parent-guided activity. Conduct this activity at home. Note your observations. Share it with your class. Keep a tap dripping. Place a cup below it. How much time does it take to fill the cup? Take the help of an elder to know how many cups can be filled in 1 hour. How many cups can be filled in 1 day? Do you understand now why we must repair a leaking tap? So this is a project for you to do. So you can keep your tap dripping. That is, it should be leaking a little. And what you have to do, you need to place a cup below it and you have to observe how much time does it take to fill the cup. So how much time that the cup takes to fill water, that you have to observe. And also you have to observe how many cups can be filled in 1 hour and how many cups can be filled in 1 day. So do this project with the help of your parents, and then you will understand why it is important to save water and why we should repair the leaking taps. So this is a project for you to do. So now let's move on to question answers, and for this you can take your notebook for writing down the question answers. Our first question, name the sources of water. So write down the question and what are the different sources of water? You can write down the answer. Rain, rivers, lakes and wells are the main sources of water. Let's move on to a second question. What is a dam? And what is a dam? A dam is a wall built across a river to store water. Now let's write about the water cycle. In the water cycle, the first step is the evaporation. So what is evaporation? The process of liquid turning into vapor due to heat. This is evaporation. So you can write down this evaporation. And the next step is condensation. So what is condensation? The process of changing water vapor to water droplets is condensation. The next stage, precipitation. Water falls back to the ground as rain or snow. This is precipitation. And the last one, collection. The water that falls on the earth seeps into the ground. This water flows back to river and seas. So this is collection. These are the 4 steps for the water cycle. You can write down this in your notebook. You have an activity to do, that is to draw a water cycle in your notebook. So this is the activity for you in this chapter. And with this, we finish our chapter, water and its uses. Now let's move on to a worksheet, page number 77 and 78. So this is a worksheet for unit 3. So let's see the questions there. First one, mark the answers by filling the circles using a pencil. So you have to mark the circles. Let's look at the first question. Which clothes keep us warm? So which clothes keep us warm? And the options are cotton, wool and plastic. Second question, what kind of clothes will you wear in summer? And the options, woolen, thick, cotton. Third question, which of these is not a pakka house? The options are bungalow, apartment, hut. Fourth question, which of these is not used to make a hut? What are the options? Stones, cement, mud. Now let's move on to our second question. Write true or false. In this we have the first question. We need clean water to live. So write true or false. Second, river water can be stored in a dam. Third, water is used only for drinking. Fourth, we must not waste water. So look at the statements and check whether they are true or false and write here in the space provided. Let's move on to our third question. Answer the following questions. And what is the first question? Who uses tents? Second one, what are houseboats made of? Third, what is moving air called? And the fourth one, what is breeze? Fifth, Does air contain living things? So you can answer these questions. Moving on to the next page, you have draw a hut and a tent. So in this space provided, you can draw a hut and a tent. So these worksheets are for you to do, and consider this as a test paper. Fill the worksheets and upload it in Teams. So with this, we finish our chapter, water and its uses, and the worksheets. We'll be meeting in the next class. Till then, thank you.